Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalam ala Rasulillah. All praise is due to Allah, and may Allah's peace and blessings be on the last messenger of Allah. Islamic education faces a number of challenges. As with everything, as with this life is a life of challenges. The implementation of Islamic education faces challenges from all quarters. From the very establishment of the institution itself. Why do we have an Islamic school? Is it because we want to serve Allah and the Muslim community through this education institution? Or is it because we want to make money? Are we merely businessmen who see a need in the community? So we will provide this institution as a means to make our money. You know, business people are always looking for niches where they can get in, nobody else is there. They monopolize the market, they make the money. That's business. If that's the philosophy behind the school, then it's doomed to fail. Islamic school cannot be built with that philosophy, because what will happen is that the philosophy will cause the school to cut corners. They will take in all kinds of students. There will be no distinctions. We just want to make the money. The more students we have in here, the more money we make. So that's our main concern. We don't care. Cheapest teachers, right? We get the cheapest teachers because then our profits are greater. If we have to pay a lot for the teachers, it means our profits are less. So we get the cheapest teachers, meaning the least qualified. Maybe we'll get a few faces here and there, names, popular names, because we want to draw people by names, etc. But the real quality of education will be very low because we are driven by the profit motive. Or we may be so driven, to focus on high quality education. We're going to give the kids the top education. Forget the Islamic thing. It takes up too much time. Kids don't have time for it. Parents don't really want it. What we're about is top academic quality education. So we get the good teachers, mostly who? Non-Muslims. So the school is Islamic school, but all the teachers in the school are non-Muslims, running the different sections, etc., etc. But we're producing high quality education. Concerned about the future of our kids. Really. So the point is that the very philosophy of the school has to be right. Why is it set up? So this is the first big challenge. Having schools set up with the right purpose. Secondly, having schools set up with clarity of understanding of what a Muslim school is. It's not just a name. Muslim school. Muslim kids, Muslim administration, Muslim owners, that means Muslim school. No. Muslim school has so much more, which makes it truly a Muslim school, an Islamic school, not just a school of Muslims, meaning belonging to Muslims, containing Muslims, run by Muslims, but an Islamic school, which in fact is implementing Islam in all of its aspects. This is the true Islamic school. So we have to have schools where the concept of what an Islamic school is well studied, well understood, and people are clear. This is knowledge. That's why Prophet ﷺ had said, "Talabul ilmi farida ala kulli Muslim." Seeking knowledge is compulsory for every Muslim. When we're going to set up a store, we study what is required for the setting up of the store. And we know clearly what our product is going to be. And we know clearly how much we're going to sell it for. And we organize ourselves and we study and we are completely ready when we open our store. But when we open a Muslim school, people have many different ideas of what a Muslim school is. This one thinks it's this, another one thinks it's that. We have all this kind of confusion there. It's unclear really what a Muslim school is. What are we trying to do here? It's confusion. And of course, the end result is confusion. Because, as they say in IT, garbage in, garbage out. So if we're coming confused, we're going to leave confused. So we have to have clarity, and that clarity is based on knowledge. So we need to know what truly constitutes a Muslim school. Then, administrators and staff. Who do we hire? We hire good practicing Muslims who are properly qualified. Good practicing Muslims, first and foremost, who are properly qualified. Both of them need to be together. That's what we need. Of course, they're not easy to come by. They're few and far between, but you have to go looking for them. And then, to win them over to come into your school, you're going to have to pay them. Means you're going to have to sacrifice financially to bring these people in, so you have really a good team to produce the results that you want to produce. Then, the students coming into the school, you have to also be selective. You see students coming in with rings in their noses, hair all shaved this way, that way. They're coming in, this and that and all this kind of foolishness. This is what they're coming into. You don't need those. You can't build a real school with those kind of people. You need people whose parents are practicing Muslims, who are concerned about Islam, and then they're bringing their children to put them in your hands because they want them to be raised Islamically. So you have to be selective. Just because they can pay the fees, that's your criteria? No. That's not the way. You have to be selective because, as we said, garbage in, garbage out. You have to keep that in mind all the time. So, selective in the process of getting the students. Selective in the process of choosing the teachers and the administrators. Then, we have to be knowledgeable about the curriculum itself. That what we are going to give them, because even if we have all of this in place, but the curriculum we're giving them is the national curriculum, the curriculum for the government of Philippines. We're using their books. What is their philosophy? It's not Islamic philosophy. So it means that although you have everything else in place, it's all being undermined by these texts and the curriculum that you've been given. So therefore, you have to tackle them. Now, you may be forced to use the curriculum, but you need to know how to modify it. You need to develop ways and means around it. Give additional information to the students, prepare materials, etc., which will help to counter some of the damage that is there in the material. So you have to then work on that inner component. Then there is a huge area, an area which is a massive obstacle to Islamized education. That obstacle is the madrasa. Now, as people might say, oh, what is this? Dr. Bilal is attacking the madrasa. We need to look at the madrasa. We need to have a new look at the madrasa. Because what we're doing in our schools is we set these criterion, special criterion for our teachers. We want them to be properly trained. They're teaching English. They've studied English. That was their major. Then they did education. They have a certificate in education, how to teach. So they're qualified. They know classroom management, curriculum development, child psychology. They have the basic components to be able to teach. Teach how? As they say in the West, make learning fun. That's how they put it. When the child first started to learn in the home, when we used to stand up and pray, and our daughters or sons would stand up beside us and pray, what are they doing? This was a fun thing for them. They saw that when they did this, parents looked at them and smiled. And they clapped and they, mashallah, mashallah. So Kids love this, so they get up and do it more times. Anytime they want mom and dad to be happy, they get up and start to pray. So they were learning, but learning was fun. We didn't take a stick after they didn't pray when we have to go to pray, and they don't want to do it now. They want to play with their toy. We come and hit them and say, come now, come play. No, because we know they're only 2 years old. So learning was fun. And that's the way it should remain. They should love to learn about Islam. But reality is that I've visited schools all around the Muslim world. North, south, east, west. Muslim schools. And I have found that in all of these schools, the most hated subjects to the students, primary and secondary, graduating students, the most hated subjects were Arabic, Quran, and Islamic Studies. So what is this saying about our schools? No matter what awards of academic excellence we've won, if our students are graduating hating the very foundation, Quran, Arabic, Islamic Studies, they're hating that. Why? Because the teachers were not qualified. We had a double standard. We required our worldly teachers doing our worldly subjects to have all the qualifications, but our teacher for Islamic Studies, Arabic, Quran, he graduated from Madeenah, or maybe he didn't. He graduated from a local madrasa, whatever. And now he's a teacher. But they've not learned how to teach children. Those who are in the madrasas, graduate from the madrasas, who end up going to Madeenah, why did they go into madrasas in the first place? Mostly what do parents do? And this is around the world, Muslim world. When our children are slow, playing too much, uncontrollable, academically weak, failures, problems, what do? Put them in the madrasa. So what are we doing? We're scraping the bottom of the barrel, the worst of our society, and we're putting them in the madrasa. So what do we expect to come out of the madrasa? What do we expect to come out of it? We've put the worst. We should have the best, or because he's now called Sheikh, he's now the best. we have put the worst in there, and for sure we're getting the worst out. And that's what the children are experiencing. We cannot keep this calamity ongoing. We have to tackle it straight up, correct it. The madrasa, we need a new madrasa where all of the teachers have teaching certificates. They know how to teach. They've been taught how to teach, how to make learning fun. So children love to go to the madrasa. Not they're crying when you have to go to madrasa. Oh no, they're crying and you have to drag them out the house and. And the Quran teacher will tell you, you cannot teach the Quran without the stick. Tell you very openly. They have to hit them. And Arabic. How is Arabic taught? Kids are made to sit there, teacher talk, child moves, whack. It's abuse, physical abuse. And of course, when these graduate from the madrasas, they go to university, they come back now, they're put in a classroom to teach. They've not been taught how to teach. What do you think they're going to do? They're going to do what they were raised to do. That's how they experience growing up. They say, well, it worked for me. I'm okay. What about all of the others that have become damaged, who have hated Islam? Just go to the website apostatesfromislam.com and read the stories there. What you're hearing are the stories of abuse. The stories of abuse through the madrasa system, where people thought this was Islam, this was being done to them, this happened, etc., etc. So this is one of the biggest challenges facing Islamization of education. So, brothers and sisters, I hope that you will take these words to heart. And I'm not attacking my brothers and sisters who work in madrasas. I'm talking about reality. We need to know what is really going on, and we need to fix it. May Allah give you all success in this conference and in the conferences to come. The idea of the conference is to meet and to share ideas with the goal of implementation, not just to have a conference. Because in the Muslim community today, we do have the disease known as confrontitis. You see, conference after conference after conference. We love conferences. We're going to conferences, making meetings and making reports and this, and we just go from one to the other to the next. And in the end, there's nothing. Nothing has been produced. A lot of money has been spent on the conferences. Maybe it's better we take all the money that we're spending on the conference and start a school. Have a just general meeting without all of the things of conference. Just keep it simple. In the future, we need to think about it. The goal of the conference is the benefit that should come out of it, the practical benefit. So I pray Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will bless your efforts and give it success in realization, making it real in the world ahead of us. Barakallahu feekum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.